This is going to be the brief discussion about manga video, and if people are interested in any particular one of these that I talk about, I'll gladly do more videos, perhaps on specific issues, multiple issues, storylines, artists, authors. So, I like Japanese culture. People automatically assume that means that I love all anime and manga, and the truth is, I'm very picky about my anime, however you want to say it. I prefer serious samurai stuff, although occasionally I will watch some of the comedy, like Crayon Shin-chan, Super Milk-chan, FLCL. For the most part, I like serious samurai drama in my anime. And I still almost always prefer live action movies over a anime. So serious samurai drama live action will always grab my attention before the anime version. Manga, I'm very picky about that as well. I am open to trying new series. Uh, Not very often though. This is Male. 3 volumes. Love the cover art. That weird 8-bit stuff. Now, there is a 4th comic to get if you want all of the story of this guy. He's a detective that can see the dead and has a gun that he can use to send spirits to the afterlife. He just has to figure out why they're doing what they're doing and why they're hanging on to this life, and then he sends them on their way. So it's really interesting. Good detective stuff, some mystery, some horror, supernatural going on. Not crazy, weird action, charging up a fireball for 15 comics type stuff. Although if you know the one I'm talking about, the bald guy with the 6 dots on his head is an interesting character. I'm not super into that yet, although with time I might get into it. Male, though, I do really like. It's a good read. Each story is very unique. The ghosts and why they're doing what they're doing, the people they're haunting and how they're involved with the ghosts, and so on. Then we have stuff like Samurai Executioner, can't get enough of. I've finished reading all through this series. I think there were 19 volumes, I might be wrong on that. And you've got a cold samurai that tests swords for the shogun and the shogun's office. And to test his swords, he also needs to make sure that these swords owned by the shogun will work on a dead body, or, well, on a dead body and a living body. So there were sword tests done on dead bodies, certain styles and stuff. This concentrates more on the living that get executed. So you get to see why he's so cold and why this Ronin is trusted with that and the events that have shaped him. And then it starts getting into the people that are dying and how they ended up with their hands tied behind their back, their neck exposed, about to have their head chopped off at the execution grounds. How they got there. And after a few volumes, it even gets into some of the people that apprehend them in their lives. It's not ridiculous non-stop fighting. It's good drama and detective work and just really good storytelling with excellent character development. I really enjoy it. Lady Snowblood. This is the only copy I have of Volume 3, and it is exceptionally beat up. The person that sold it was not very honest in their description of it. Still, I was able to read it through. I think the only one I haven't read is Volume 4 of Lady Snowblood, and I do have that. I need to get around to reading that soon. Pinky Violence. If you don't know what the pinky violence movie genre of Japan is, it's Chambara style, which is sword fighting nonstop, only set to strong female leads that frequently end up losing portions of their clothing in the sword fight. Yeah, there's lots of that in the Lady Snowblood series. Good movies, even better manga. The reason to get this, even though, you know, naked woman running around through the snow hacking people up with a sword seems like more than enough reason, is honestly it's a really, really good revenge story, and why she's called Lady Snowblood and all that she goes through. Good stuff. Lone Wolf and Cub, guilty pleasure, ridiculous, through the roof, over the top, burn this mother down, crazy action violence. And so are the movies, and I would assume the TV series, which I haven't seen, is the same thing. This guy is like high up executioner, executes the really high nobles and samurai that anger the shogun, and a ninja clan that wants his position sets him up, and he takes his son and goes on a murderous rampage of 28 volumes, destroying, just absolutely destroying this ninja clan. Don't expect too much drama. Don't expect too much in-depth detective or anything. You might get some character development, but really, Lone Wolf and Cub is about ridiculous action and violence, and it's a guilty pleasure read, and gotta read it. It's a must. Good stuff. Now, Lone Wolf and Cub and Samurai Executioner were done by the same people, and Yamada Asaman, the Executioner, he does make an appearance in Lone Wolf and Cub. I haven't gotten that far. Male, I did mention you got to get a fourth comic. There's a crossover. The artist and writer becomes the artist for this other comic series, something Detective Agency. I can't remember the name of it. Just Detective Agency is on there. And it was an okay read. I liked it, but it wasn't enough to get me to start buying that series. I only bought the one issue that the detective from Mail appears in. And that's why I got that issue. And I got to the part where he appears, and I liked it. Kusaragi or something like that. Detective Service? I don't know. Or Corpse Delivery. That's it. It's not Detective Service. Kusaragi or Kusaragi Corpse Delivery Service. I think it's the 4th volume. The guy from Mail's in there, and it's the final Mail story that's been published so far. Okay, we've got Junji Ito is one of the real popular horror manga, and I love the samurai stuff for the most part, samurai drama. I do like a bit of the horror. I'm a bit picky on it, and there's kind of two weird polar opposites to my collecting of the horror manga. We've got Junji Ito's Museum of Terror. Good, psychological, deep horror. I got the first 2 volumes because they have Tomie, and I'm a huge fan. These got me into Tomie, and then I started getting the movies, and I've got 2 or 3 of the movies to get. I'm behind a little bit. Tomie is so good and creepy and weird, and I've got the first 2 of this. The third one is when they start really dealing with his non-Tomie stuff. So one of these days I'm going to have to get it. The price tag on it's ridiculous, though, so I'm waiting for that to go down. The other side of the spectrum, Bug Boy, that's just one of many. I have a ton of Hideshi Hino. Now, what got me into Hideshi Hino is the guinea pig flicks. Just look up guinea pig flicks or guinea pig cinema or Hideshi Hino, and you'll see they're an experiment, and you're the test subject when you watch them. The director and the writer were totally just trying to put your mind through a meat grinder. Oh man, They're crazy. Anyway, his comics are like that. A lot of craziness. Really interesting, taking chibi type artwork and just all manner of torture being applied to it. Kind of reminds me of the old EC comics. And just real good, creepy, inner child horror kind of stuff. I like it. So I've got a ton of Hideshi Hino. Big fan of his. And it was his guinea pig films. Now, other stuff I do collect, but like I said, the main thing for me is samurai drama and certain key horror. But for the most part, samurai drama. I get like Crayon Shin-chan. You know, I've got a few issues of Old Boy because I liked that Korean movie. I haven't gotten around to reading the issues of Old Boy. I don't know if I'm going to continue to collect that. I do have a copy of Uzumaki coming. I love that film. I had to get the manga. I got the hardback, full, like all of them in one, ordered. Got a great deal on that. Pre-ordered it, and yeah, great deal. Certainly cheaper than trying to buy each issue. And who knows, after it comes out, I'm sure that hardcover will skyrocket in price. Uzumaki would probably be somewhere between Hideshi Hino and Junji Ito. I don't even know what to expect of the Old Boy manga. I don't know. Haven't gotten around to reading it. Crayon Shin-chan. Imagine having all the knowledge you have as an adult, then being transported back in time into a child's body and using that knowledge to troll adults for fun. To just absolutely do everything you can to play pranks on them and get them with all the knowledge of an adult stuck in a child's body. Shin-chan is a vicious little man that he's really a kid in the manga, but he knows way more than he should and just gives all kinds of grief to his parents. It's good stuff, hilarious stuff. One example, whenever his mom takes him to the mall, he loves to loudly announce what underwear she's wearing. You know, like, oh, she's wearing polka dot underwear. He's at the top of his lungs. It's great. He's hilarious little sneak, very mischievous, funny stuff. You'll roll on the ground laughing. So yeah, that covers me for manga. I'm very resistant to people trying to suggest new anime or manga to me. Every once in a while, I'll take the suggestions. I might, because of that one character, get into that one. I really do like that one character, the bald guy with the 6 dots on his forehead. I have a lot of issues with that cartoon, though. With time, it might grow on me. I don't know. Rurouni Kenshin. Took a little while to get into. I eventually got into it. As far as the manga, I've watched a lot of the anime. I haven't watched Samurai X yet, or the other one, because there's 3 different periods in his life, 3 different animes to follow. I've got one of the manga. It's an adaptation of the movie, the live-action movie that came out that I need to get a hold of on disc, because I always prefer live-action when I can watch that. Although with anime, I do deviate from my usual formula on occasion. I love Grave of the Fireflies, great film. Really likes Secret of Ariadne, however you say it. Yeah. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to know more, want me to look up more of what's in my collection, that's the more obscure stuff for me, you know, not quite my common reading material, or if you want to know specifics, put it in the comments. Let's get a discussion going.